Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast.
This is a show dedicated to helping you become a better organist.
We're your hosts, Vidas
And Ausra Pinkevičienė.
We have over 25 years of experience of playing the organ.
And we've been teaching thousands of organists online from 89 countries since 2011.
So now let's jump in and get started with the podcast for today.
We hope you'll enjoy it.
Hi guys, this is Vidas.
And Ausra.
Let's start episode 690 of Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. This question was sent by Andrew and he writes, Dear Vidas, my answers to your recent questions. Number 1. My dream is to be able to play the organ confidently in the liturgy and perhaps in recitals occasionally. Number 2. The 3 most important things holding me back from this are a poor sense of timing and rhythm, lack of focus and concentration in practicing, and my legs are both slightly twisted outwards, which makes some pedaling uncomfortable. Especially around the middle of the pedalboard, I cannot place my knees close together without great effort. Nonetheless, I am finding Total Organist a very useful resource and community. I find your daily emails especially helpful. My best wishes to you and Ausra from England, Andrew. That's very nice to have a Total Organist community member write a message like this.
Yes, very nice indeed. Thank you, Andrew.
And I notice Andrew writes sometimes in his daily responses to these questions in our community on Basecamp, which is very good.
Sure, it keeps community spirits up.
Yeah, if nobody wrote, only we, or even if we were silent, so it would be like an empty house.
That's true.
But now a few more people are participating. Not everyone, though. Some people are just, reading perhaps, not actively participating and engaging. But those who are participating, I think they are getting quadruple results because they are thinking about their own practice deliberately, right? The question, for example, what did you do today in organ playing, right? Sometimes if you don't think about anything, you don't have anything to write about if you don't play. And if you don't have an answer for this day and you get the same question tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, maybe you start thinking, oh, maybe I have to start practicing, right? Because Vidas and Ausra are sending these questions for me. So that's really nice that Andrew is active member of the community. So Ausra, start with some recommendations, please.
Well, as Andrew said, 3 important things that are holding him back. Poor sense of timing and rhythm. I think this is the thing that you really need to work on, because if you are church musician and accompanying congregational singing, then the sense of good timing and rhythm is crucial. And I think in general for the musicians, sometimes people think that the right notes are the most important thing. And of course, they are very important, but still, I think the rhythm comes above all.
That's because in any given piece, in any piece from the common practice period, rhythm gives probably we could say a flow of the melody. And if you lose the sense of flow, you cannot understand the melody. If you lose a little bit of notes, but you keep the sense of flow, the melody, the sense of the piece is still intact, right?
Yes. And from my experience of many years playing myself and teaching others and listening to others, I could say that there are very few people with a really poor sense of rhythm. Usually, if you cannot give a good rhythm, it means that you don't listening to what you are playing.
And the way to listen to your playing is actually actively counting the beats and subdividing the beats if the piece is difficult.
And yes, actually, you need to do it aloud, at least at the beginning. And later maybe you just use your tongue, subdivide with your tongue. And by subdividing, what I mean is that the smallest value or rhythmic value in the piece is 16th. You need to subdivide everything into 16th. It might seem crazy for you at the beginning, but that's a very good way not to lose the rhythm and to be precise.
And one example would be like this: 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and in 4/4 meter.
Yes, and it doesn't mean that you will have to do it, for the rest of your life. But, for a while, yes, until you get the good sense of a rhythm. Another thing, if you are accompanying the hymns for congregation, you really need to sing them. Because if you will sing with congregation, maybe not loud, but just for yourself in your head, then you will know where are the best spots, to take breath. And naturally, it will help you, to be better in the rhythm while accompanying hymns. And of course, with your solo pieces too, you need to basically sing each line. Remember, as Pamela Reuter-Finstra, she pushed us to sing each line. And occasionally she would ask, for us to sing. Not for example, the melody, but a tenor voice, let's say.
While playing or while not playing?
Both ways. So I guess this should help you, to improve on the timing and rhythm. Because, some people would just say, oh, just put the metronome and practice with the metronome. I don't think that's a very good approach. Maybe sometimes just to check if your tempo is correct, then yes, but not playing all the time with the metronome. I don't think that's the right approach.
Mm-hmm. And his second challenge is lack of focus and concentration in practicing, which could be improved regularly by regularly doing the same thing over and over.
Yes, and I think if you will start count and subdivide and do all things that we talked just before this, I think this will help on your focus and concentration. Because this constant counting and subdividing will keep you concentrated in your practice.
I agree. And of course, the third problem about his legs twisted outwards, there is nothing he can do, obviously.
I know, but somehow people always complain about their legs, about either we looking inward or backward or whatever. I had a student, at UNL when I was, a doctoral student. He was majoring in piano performance, and he was also a doctoral student in piano performance. And he was a very tall man with really long legs. And he would keep complaining to me about his legs all the single lesson. It just drove me mad because I'm a really sort of short person with short legs. But, I never complaining, although it gives me physical difficulties too. Remember our last German recital on the Etzkes organ, where you could not regulate the organ bench. You could make it higher, but not lower. And remember me playing that Druckenmüller's piece, Prelude and Cecona.
You had to literally, physically shift your body to the right.
Yes, I was jumping on the organ bench sometimes in order, to reach the pedal on the lower level or on the higher, level. But I did it and it was fine and it was all clean and clear and everything worked just nice. So you really need to adjust depending on what kind of body you have and what kind of legs you have. But please don't feel that you have to hold your both knees always together. I think that's such a wrong idea. And well, before going to the States, I even didn't know that such a rule exists. But in America, like, everybody is just crazy about this idea that you need to keep your knees together. And for me, physically, that is impossible. Because basically, my hips are too fat, I would say. And to holding knees always together would make my organ playing and pedaling impossible. So simply, I just don't worry about it. And in Baroque music, for example, while playing Bach, I just don't know how this could help you to make a good articulation in the pedal.
The probably more important than keeping knees together is to try to play with the toes, with the big toes of the feet, inner portion of the feet. Not sure if it's possible for Andrew, because he says his legs are twisted slightly outwards. But see what he can do, right? How much he can shift his feet, how much he can play with the inner portion of the feet.
Well, because you really need to adjust every rule to yourself and not to blindly follow it, but to see what works for you and what does not work.
Yes, it wouldn't be placing knees together, but it could be in that direction a little bit, whatever is comfortable to you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe, you need to adjust the height of a bench better. Or to sit closer to the manuals or further away. You just need to experiment a little bit until you find, what works best for you. And actually your body will tell you, because, if you are keeping your knees together and it gives you pain or, really you feel very uncomfortable, then don't do that, don't follow it blindly.
Yes, always stop and rest before you're tired, and that would be the best way to practice also. So thank you so much, Andrew, for your question and answer, and being an active member of the Total Organist community. This is really precious.
Yes, thank you very much.
And remember, when you practice,
miracles happen.
This podcast is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online.
It has hundreds of courses, coaching, and practice materials for every area of organ playing. Thousands of instructional videos and PDFs. You will not find more value anywhere else online.
Total Organist helps you to master any piece, perfect your technique, develop your sight reading skills, and improvise or compose your own music, and much, much more.
Sign up and begin your training today at organduo.lt and click on Total Organist. And of course, you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
If you like our organ music, you can also support us on Patreon and get free CDs.
Find out more at patreon.com/secrets of organ playing.